Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is April 19th, 2026, and today we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Because tomorrow, of course, we have a big, huge, colossal, monumental day as Barcelona will be facing off against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid. Did I say that already? I think I said that already. Where Barcelona will be trying to mount a comeback. But that's not all, because we're also going to be talking about Rafael Leao. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. Welcome to the Barca News Live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where not only we discuss Barcelona news, but where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section, my Barca News family, by reading your comments live and reacting to them. So start filling out the chat section with your questions, your comments, whatever that's on your mind, so we can get this popping. Now, for those of you who'll be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in a timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion and get straight into the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. All this helps the channel continue to grow. If you're looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you head to Kickback or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. You click on them, you get access to some pretty cool deals and offers courtesy of Barca News. And of course, these deals and offers would not be available to you if you don't use those links. By the way, right now they're running a Champions League special on Kickback. So if you want to pick up some Champions League kits, head to the link in the description. All right, let's begin with this special Champions League preview. We're going to be talking a lot about the Champions League. And then finally, we are going to talk about Rafael Leao. But let's talk about the Champions League, because tomorrow Barcelona will be playing the second leg of the quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid, where Barcelona are currently down 0-2 on aggregate. And tomorrow Barcelona will be trying to look to mount a comeback against Atletico Madrid in their own stadium, something that's not going to be easy whatsoever, given that, while Atletico Madrid are pretty strong in their own stadium, I think they were undefeated until we beat them in La Liga last week or a week and a half ago. I don't even remember when it was. Feel like it's all mushing together now at this stage of La Liga, or this season, I should say. But I'm pretty sure they were undefeated until Barcelona beat them. But anyways, it's going to be a very difficult thing, especially because, we should expect tomorrow Cholo Simeone, being El Cholo Simeone, a destroyer of football. We expect him to park the bus, defend with everything he got, and then, count on those long passes for the counterattack. And Barcelona going to need to score early on, because if they don't, as the time starts ticking, the team is going to get more and more desperate. The lines are going to get higher and higher, and more space is going to be created in the back, which is going to give Atletico Madrid more chances to score. So tomorrow, Barcelona are going to have to, as soon as that whistle blows, they're going to have to come out swinging, score early goals, and that way force Atletico Madrid to come out from their third and hopefully create more spaces, which then would allow Barcelona to score even more goals, and hopefully will complete the comeback. Now, of course, given that tomorrow is the match, the team is already in the city of Madrid, and today they trained at the Metropolitano. This is a picture of the players training at Atletico Madrid's stadium ahead of tomorrow's match. And of course, if you're wondering, hey Mo, who are the players that have traveled to Madrid? Don't worry, I got the squad list for you of the players who have traveled. In goal, we have Joan Garcia, Wojciech Szczesny, and Diego Kochen. For the defense, we have Cancelo, Balde, Ronald Araujo, Gerard Martin, Jules Koundé, Eric Garcia, Cortés, who's back in the lineup. He hadn't been in the lineup in a while. He's an academy kid. And then Xavi Espart. And in the midfield, we have Gabi, Pedri, Fermin, Marc Casado, Dani Olmo, Frenkie de Jong, and Marc Bernal. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Marc Bernal has traveled with the team. As you see, there is an asterisk right next to his name. That's because Bernal has not received the medical clearance yet. So he has traveled with the team. Tomorrow he will submit to exams again, And if he is fit, boom, you're already in Madrid. You can maybe play. If not, oh well. No harm, no foul. This is much better, of course, than leaving the player in Barcelona. Tomorrow, he sees the doctors, and doctors are like, hey, he's good to go. And he's like, oh, shit, let me get to Madrid, right? So this is why he's traveled with the team. This is why he has an asterisk right next to his name. And then, of course, we have Tommy Marquez. And then finally, the attackers, we have Ferran Torres, Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, Marcus Rashford, Rooney Bardarji, and the manager, of course, the one and only Hansi Dieter Flick. Now, the question is, who will Hansi Flick line up for tomorrow? Of course, that's always a mystery with Hansi Flick. He's pretty good at keeping that under wraps. He never answers those questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a guess. And of course, I want you guys to do the same. So let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this when it ends. Who do you think Hansi Flick will start? My guess is going to be, you ready for this? Juan Garcia in goal. Just kidding. Juan Garcia in goal. I think the two fullbacks will be Jules Koundé, and Joao Cancelo as our two fullbacks. I think our two center-back pairing will be Gerard Maldini. Now that we know that he's not injured, he was simply subbed out as a precaution against Espanyol. Perico, bendibe que se siente. And Eric Garcia. I think it's going to be Eric Garcia and Gerard Maldini as our two center-backs. In the midfield, I think it's going to, excuse me. Ooh, something went in my throat. Ooh. There we go. All right. I think it's going to be Frankie de Jong and Pedri. Now that Frankie de Jong is back, he's healthy. He played some minutes against Espanyol. And in the attacking mid, I think it's going to be Fermín López. And then our two wingers, Rafinha, I wish. Lamine Yamal and Marcus Rashford. And then our 9, I think it's going to be Lewy. Even though Ferran did score 2 goals against Espanyol. Perico, bendibe que se siente. But given that Lewy was rested, my guess is going to be Lewandowski starting. That's my lineup. Juan Garcia, Koundé, Cancelo, Gerard Martin, Eric Garcia, Pedri, Frankie, Fermín, Lamine, Rashford, Lewy. Let me know what you guys think, who's going to be in the starting lineup. Now, tomorrow, of course, is going to be an incredibly important match. Not only because that's our chance of qualifying to the semifinal, but also from the financial aspect. Because the teams that qualify to the semifinal will get an extra 15 million euro bonus. Now, why is this important? It's important because Barcelona budget every year to make it to the quarterfinals. So in this year's budget, Barcelona had forecasted that Barcelona would make it to the quarterfinals. We've done that. Check, right? We've met that budget. So anything beyond that, that's no longer, what's it called? I'm blanking on the word. That's no longer part of your budget to run the club. Now, anything beyond that, beyond quarterfinals, now we're talking about profit. So if Barcelona make it to the semifinal, that's a 15 million euro bonus, which means a 15 million euro profit because you're making more than what you budgeted, which of course could go towards signings, etc., etc. So not only is tomorrow important because we can qualify to the semifinal, it's also important from that financial aspect. Now, the last thing I want to review, because of course it is a Champions League preview. And what's a Champions League preview without some stats? Because we do have to review some stats that are in favor of Barcelona or that, favor Barcelona to win tomorrow and mount a comeback. As you know, Barcelona are down 0-2. So we need at least 2 goals just so we can go to extra halves. And then a third one, of course, to qualify. Assuming, of course, Atletico Madrid don't score any. But let's look at these positive stats. Because in the Champions League, Barcelona have scored 30 goals in 11 matches. 30 in 11 matches. That comes out to an average of 2.72 goals per game. And tomorrow, we know we need at least 2 to stay alive. And the average is 2.72. Okay? Now, more important stats that favor Barcelona. That's just in the Champions League. This season, so that's Champions, Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup, La Liga, Barcelona have scored 131 goals so far, which comes out to an average of 2.67 goals per match. Again, we need 2 goals to stay alive. So that's above what we need. Away, in away matches, which is what tomorrow is, it's an away match. Barcelona have scored 55 goals in 24 matches, and that comes out to an average of 2.29 goals per match. And again, we need how much? 2 goals to stay alive. So we're averaging 2.72 goals per match in the Champions League, 2.67 goals per match the whole season, and 2.29 goals per match in away stadiums. So, and since we need 2 goals, these stats, well, they favor Barcelona. Of course, this is only stat. This is not a prediction, but nonetheless, it does helps us. Another thing that helps us is that Barcelona, of course, have many scores, and that's always helpful because look at Real penalties. They only have Mbappe, so when he's injured, all of a sudden there's nobody to score goals. That's not the case with Barcelona because so far in Europe, not in La Liga, not in the whole season, just in Europe, in the Champions League, we've had 9 different goal scorers, including Rashford, Ferran, Fermin, Lamine, Jules Koundé, Dani Olmo, Robert Lewandowski, Coutinho, who unfortunately is injured, and Marc Bernal, who could get the clearance tomorrow, but let's say he's not. Out of the 9, 7 are available for tomorrow's match. And again, very important. Another stat, because fuck it, why not? Barcelona in the Champions League have produced 548 attacking sequences in 11 Champions League matches. 548 attacking sequences in 11 Champions League matches. 167 of those have come in high danger area, and that's going to be very important tomorrow. And I need a lot of volume, create a lot of chances so we could score a lot of goals and hopefully complete the comeback and make it to the semi-finals. All right, that about sums it up for the first section, first segment. Let's do some comments, and then we are going to talk about Hansi Flick, our one and only, the greatest coach right now on earth, Hansi Dieter Flick. Now, we do have those donations. Let's look at go. It started with TF52 with the incredibly generous donation. Let's look at go. Thank you so much, my friend, for your incredible generosity. But TF52 says, hi, Mo, first time chatting. Do you know if Barca are looking into Igor Thiago? Thank you, my friend, again, for your donation. Thank you for being here. And to all of you Barca News family who are here, thank you for watching. Welcome, I guess, to the chat since it is your first time. Hopefully, we'll see you more often in the chat section. But no, as far as I know, no, Barcelona are not looking into Igor Thiago. Let me look at his market value, just out of curiosity. 50 million euros market value. When is his contract? Ooh, contract until 2031 with Brentford. That is crazy. That means, because obviously the longer the contract, the more the clubs will ask for the player. So if his market value is 50 million and he still has another 5 years on his contract, expect Brentford to want at least, and this is being a little bit generous, 80 mil, maybe more. But he does have some impressive numbers. 21 goals in 32 matches with 1 assist in the Premier League alone. He is 24. Impressive numbers. He does have Bulgarian citizenship. You know what that means? That means he wouldn't occupy a foreign spot on a squad. That's important, right? Because you only have three, I think, right? But yeah, as far as I know, no. Barcelona are not, he's not on the list. Maybe he should. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this once it ends. And we have a let's fucking go. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, Shin, for always supporting the channel. I absolutely love your profile picture. I know I said that last time you you donated, but I have to say it because your doggo in a Barcelona kit is absolutely adorable. But Shin says, sorry you missed the party. Got a single tomahawk ribeye cut into two 1.5-inch thick ribeye and wood fired them to perfection. Washed it down with a Modelo Negra. And while I was drinking, I was thinking, wish Mo was here. Oh, man, I wish I was there because I can throw down on steak. One time I ate 2 tomahawks. Big mistake, by the way, for people who are in their 30s and older. It's not advisable to eat 2 tomahawk steaks in one sitting. You know, I had mine, I finished it. And then my girlfriend at the time, she had her own. She only ate a little bit. And I was like, give it to me. I ate it. Tell me why I felt like I was gonna die. Like I had the meat sweats, you know, I was sleeping, sweating. Next day, I just felt like, you know, when you just feel like, I don't know how about the sensation is. You're not sick, but you just have no appetite. You don't want to eat anything. You feel like off, like your stomach is just bleh. That was me for like the rest of the day and the following day. Like I literally didn't eat anything else. I was just drinking water. I guess when you reach a certain age, it's just not advisable to eat that much red meat in one sitting. But yes, my friend, I wish I would have been there because I love steak, especially wood fire. You know, here, unfortunately, New York City, I live in an apartment, so there's no way I could wood fire anything. The only way I can cook a steak is, you know, on a pan, which of course it's still delicious, but it's not as good as wood fired. Absolutely not. I mean, the smokiness that you get from cooking it on fire, next level, next level. But I'm glad you enjoyed your steak, my friend, and your beer. I know you've been working a lot, so you absolutely deserve it. And maybe next time in Texas, we could throw down on some steak and some beer. But thank you again for your donation. Let's do a few more comments, and then we'll talk about Hansi Flick. But Zaidi, who says, hey, Mo, what is your starting lineup? Oh, perfect. I just covered it. So I don't have to, I guess I predicted your comment, my friend. Captain Falcon says, Bisca Barça, my friend. And Rob says, what do you think about playing Lamine Yamal as a 9? So someone asked me that the other day, and I don't think that's a good idea for now. Maybe in the future, sure. And why do I say that? Because right now, Lamine's strongest suit is creating that danger from the wing, right? His dribbling, him taking on defenders 1v1, cutting into the box and doing his, you know, that shot, the curler that he loves to do from the edge of the box, or his Trivela passes, or going deep and then throwing that killer dagger pass across the box. Those are his strengths, right now. So we got to play to his strength. Right now, being a 9, scoring goals is not really his thing right now. Of course, he's only 18. Messi, at one point, he ended up playing as a false 9, right? But it wasn't from the beginning because he had to develop that ability not to score goals. And now, so to be a 9, not only do you have to be able to score goals, you have to be really good at knowing where to be at the right place at the right time. Like, for example, remember that goal by Leao against Atletico where he flicks it with his shoulder? It might seem like luck, like the ball just bounced and hit him, but go back and watch the goal replay and watch his movement because he's sitting offside. He sees Cancelo. Was it Cancelo? Yeah, Cancelo coming. He immediately jumps, goes back to onside because he knows it's coming. He sees Cancelo running, reads Cancelo's movement. So then Leao changes position again, gets open for a pass, sees Cancelo's not going to pass it. He's going to shoot it. So then Leao changes position again and kind of predicts where the ball's going to go and where it might bounce. And he's there, predicts it perfectly. And when the ball eventually does bounce off the goalie, he's in the right place at the right time. That's an instinct that you cannot teach. That's an instinct that you develop. And not everybody develops, obviously. That's why there's only very few nines in the world, because that's an instinct that you cannot teach. That's an instinct that true killers, and when I say killers, like box killers, box predators, Lewandowskis of the world, develop on their own. Right now, I don't see Lamine Yamal with that instinct yet. He might develop it down the road. And if he does, amazing. Another tool to his extensive toolbox, right? Kind of like Messi. But right now, it's not there yet. So we should play to his strength and not try to play to his weaknesses. So right now, as a false nine, I don't think it will be a good idea. And we have let's fucking go. I kind of love that. I feel like I should maybe record it and I could just hit a button and it can just be like me saying, let's fucking go. But thank you, Shid, so much, my friend, for your second donation. That Shid says, hell yeah, bro. Next time you're close to me, your first round ballot invite to the casa for some Texas barbecue, courtesy of yours truly. Oh, I love Texas barbecue. There's a good place here. Well, it's not here. It's not close. Actually, it's in Jersey. It's about like a 20-minute drive from where I live. And they do, it's like these former Marines who, after they left the service, they opened their own place. It's called Red, Blue, and Q. Or is it White, Blue, and Q? Red, Blue, and Q. I think it's Red, Blue, and Q. It's the colors of the flag. One of them is turned into Q as in barbecue. But anyways, they do this amazing Texas barbecue. They do this smoked brisket. They smoke it for 12 hours. Do not wear nice clothes there because you go in the place, it is just full of smoke and you will come out smelling like smoke. So you don't wear any nice clothes when you go there. But it's so good. I mean, it's that brisket where you hold the bone and, sorry, not the brisket, not just the brisket. They also smoke ribs. And the ribs, when you hold the bone, it's like you go to eat it and it's the meat just like goes plop. And it's like you're just left with the bone and you're like, what the fuck? Delicious. But I would love some Texas barbecue. I'm thinking of going to Austin pretty soon. I don't know if this month or probably next month. I gotta go see my friends who I was supposed to see last time. I told you. So if I do, I'll definitely let you know. And Jerome with the let's fucking go. Thank you, Jerome, so much, my friend, for your generosity. You too have a dog in the picture. I love it. Your dog is not wearing a kit, but you are. Oh, I'm guessing that's you are, right? Next to your dog. But that's pretty cute picture as well. But Jerome says, finally got to catch a live. Anyways, I'm very optimistic for the game tomorrow. Like Flick said, we need a perfect game and we'll be unstoppable. Amen, my friends. Amen. And again, thank you for your donation. That's a really cute dog. Let me know what's his name. I'm very curious. He kind of looks like my dog, but much smaller because my dog is huge. But let me know. And with that, speaking of Flick, that's a perfect segue. So thank you for your donation and thank you for the segue, because we do have to, well, get back to the news and talk about our coach, our one and only, the greatest coach on earth, Hansi Dieter Flick, because, of course, he did participate in the pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's match, where he was asked a lot of things, but I'll focus only on what I thought that was the most interesting or the most important parts, because you'd be surprised when you watch these press conferences, there's a lot of stupid questions, like, what do you think? Should Barcelona score more goals than Atletico? And he's like, yeah. Obviously that wasn't an actual question, but I swear they could easily ask that because some of the questions are pretty stupid. But anyways, enough with the blabbering. Let's dig in right into the statements of Hansi Flick, because our coach, our wonderful coach, one of the best gifts that Laporta could have given us, besides the corruption, of course, is what needs to be done to come back tomorrow. And this is what Flick had to say. I know we're playing against Atletico, who are a team with some very good players and will need to put up a very strong defense, but also be brave in attack, press, and make the most of every chance. If you look at the last match, that was perhaps the big difference between them and us. Maybe tomorrow will be completely different, and that would make me happy. So the key to the comeback tomorrow, the key to winning against Atletico Madrid is, as Hansi Flick says, taking advantage or making most out of every chance you create. And that's going to be huge, because that's exactly what we didn't do in the first leg of the quarterfinals. Because let's not forget, we dominated the first leg. Even after Pau Cuarti got a red card and we were reduced to 10 men, Barcelona still dominated the match. We were way better than Atletico Madrid. We created way more chances than them. We created way more danger than them. We shot 18 times. But despite dominating, despite generating so many chances, we weren't able to take advantage of those chances. And this is why we lost. Because Atletico Madrid only had, 2 clear chances? And both of them ended up in goal. One long pass to Giuliano, red card, free kick, boom, goal. A long pass to Sorloth. No, not Sorloth. It was, who made the pass to Sorloth? Anyways, it was pass to the wing, cross into Sorloth, pushes it in, boom. 2 chances, 2 goals. We created, I don't know how many chances, but it was 18 shots and no goals. So that's what failed last time. It was not that they were better than us. It's not that they were faster. It's not that they had better tactics. No, we were better in every single aspect, in every single facet of the game. The difference, we didn't make the most out of our chances. They did. So tomorrow, how do you fix that? Well, taking the most out of your chances. And here's the thing. That's the easy part, right? Generating the chance, that's the difficult part. Dominating your opponent, that's the difficult part. Maintaining possession, useful possession, purposeful possession, that's the difficult part. We did all of that. We did the difficult part. We just got to do the last bit. Push it in, for God's sake. Rashford, if the goal has no goalie, fucking score, bro. Please. Ferran, I know it's Atletico Madrid, but let's pretend it's Elche. Let's pretend it's Espanyol. And please, score. Lewy, hopefully tomorrow you can unleash that monster that we know it's there. And of course, Lamine. Because Lamine has unlocked God mode. These last few matches, he has unlocked God mode. Lamine has been on another level. And he's only 18 years old. We haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg with this kid. Insane. Now, Hansi Flick was asked about his style of play, because they always do. High line, offensive. Oh, are you worried that you're going to, concede goals? And this is what Flick had to say. The important thing will be to press them. If they aren't under pressure, they play well out from the back. And it's not easy to defend against. We need good link-up play between our players. As I said before, there are matches that are decided by moments. The red card, the goalkeeper comes out and they handle the ball and it's not a penalty. That's football. We'll see if luck's on our side tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Another thing that Hansi Flick highlights, something that I used to drill a lot on this channel, and people were like, wow, that's all you say. I'm like, well, yeah, because it's very important. Press. Press, 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 press. I cannot say that enough. High press, ladies and gentlemen. Our style is incredibly offensive. We attack with all 11 players. Yes, 11, because Juan Garcia sometimes is like a third of the way up the field. And when you attack like that, you're leaving your back extremely exposed. And the only way to address that exposure, it's not by signing Bastoni, it's not by signing Maldini, it's by pressing. Because even the best defender in the world is not going to be able to overcome that distance that we keep between our back line and our goal if we don't press. You have to press. If you lose the ball, you have to press. Because if you press, you either get the ball back, which is great. The other team cannot do any damage if they don't have the ball. Or you might not get the ball back, but you make it uncomfortable for the guy with the ball to where he can't get the pass, or if he does get the pass out, it's not accurate or not to the right player. Or even if you don't get the ball back, and even if that opposing player still gets the pass out, press to where you create enough delay for your backline to set up again. Whether it's to set the offside trap or at least to start running back to catch whoever's making the run from the opposing team. So press, 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 incredibly crucial. People are like, Mo, you always say press. Yes. This is like saying, oh, Mo, you always talking about scoring goals. Yes. It's incredibly important. Press, press, press. And as far as, if Flick is worried about having to score a lot of goals because Barcelona always concede, Flick said, I'm not worried. It's our style of play. We can defend better, but it all depends on the team. Everyone in the team must be involved and connected and defend as a unit. Defend as a unit. I'm tired of hearing, Kouarsi, Gerard. No, the whole team has to defend. There is no Kouarsi, Gerard. The whole team are the defense when we lose the ball because how high we play. Without the ball, we need to close down spaces and be more compact. That's the way we want to play football. There are many situations where we've done that very well and we're capable of scoring goals. So Flick, not worried about conceding goals or having to score a lot of goals because guess what? This team is built to score a lot of goals. The style of play, the way the players we use, the way we position ourselves, the tactics, it's all has one aim. And that aim is to outscore the opponent. So if the team does what they're supposed to do, there's no worries about scoring plenty of goals, as we've seen many, many times. We beat Atletico Madrid 3-0 in the second leg of the Copa del Rey. We beat them 3-1 in La Liga. It is doable, ladies and gentlemen, because we have done it already, not once, but twice during this season alone. I'm not even talking about last season, this season alone. Now, as far as his players, this is what Hansi Flick had to say. Lamine has been putting in some very good performances in recent matches. He's unlocked God mode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy with him. And what I tell him is that he has to keep doing these things. He's one of the best in one-on-one situations, and we have to help him and give him the opportunity. At the same time, he added, we have to play as a team. That's the key for tomorrow. I'm not overly concerned about individual performances. We have many players of great quality, but so do they. I said that matches are often decided by moments, and I hope it goes our way tomorrow. I hope so too, Hansi Flick. I hope so too, because yes, tomorrow we're going to need the entire team. We cannot only depend on an 18-year-old kid, even if he's on locked God mode. We need the entire team. So Rashford, for fuck's sake, please show up. Ferran, if you get some minutes, please show up. Olmo, if you get some minutes, please show up. Frankie, show us your best version, because we've seen best version of Frankie, absolutely unstoppable. But we don't see it always. Please, Frankie, show us your best. And if all the players come through, it's very much doable. Very much doable. And of course, I'm referring to the comeback. All right, let's do some comments, and then we are going to talk about Lamine Yamal. Cada día te quiero más. Lamine Yamal. Cada día te quiero más. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? Where did we leave off? Man, it's hot in here. I need to turn my AC on. This whole week is going to be super warm. High 70s, even high 80s. For those in the Celsius world, it's going to be like high 20s, low 30s. And it's funny because the weekend it was cold. But anyways, Nick. Yes, Nick. Okay. Nice to catch the live. I'm out and about enjoying the nice weather. If you live in the Midwest, you never know when winter will return. Well, enjoy the weather, my friend. I sure will be enjoying it this upcoming weekend, which is going to be the first warm weekend in a very, very long time. And Sid says, like up the stream. There's 92 of us and only 30 likes. Yes, please. There's 165 of us now. If each one of us hits the like button, that's 165 likes. 169 likes because now there's more. So please hit the like button. It's free. Only takes a second. And of course, it really, really helps the channel. And let's see. Barca Got Culture says, who should we start in right back tomorrow? I think it's going to have to be Jules Koundé. He's back. He's healthy. Let's hope he can show us last season Koundé, not beginning of this season Koundé. And GT Mastrokin says we have to believe in the remontada on Tuesday. Complaining about the many remontadas make no sense. It is a consequence of our style of play. Pisca el Barça. Yes and no, because it shouldn't be a consequence of our style of play, because our style of play, when done correctly, It's all about outscoring the opponent, and that means every match, right? But obviously, this is not always going to work. And sometimes, yes, you end up being behind, and you have to come from behind, and that's fine. The problem was, and I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about that really bad stretch in La Liga between the month of October and beginning of January. No, end of December, where we were constantly doing remontadas, not because it was a byproduct of our play, but it was because a lot of matches the team would start out half asleep. They weren't trying, they weren't playing with intensity. They were just like, meh, I don't give a shit about this game. And of course, the other team would score on us, and then the second half we would have to mount a remontada. That's when it's a problem. One thing is you try your best and you still get scored on. Okay, fine, it happens. But if you're getting scored on because you're not even trying, and then you have to mount a remontada, that's another story. Sulaiman says, hello, Mo. How are you doing today? I can relate with having too much meat. Just once I had too much meat at Fogo de Chao. Ooh, Fogo de Chao. In Washington, and I felt very uncomfortable the next day. Right? It's a weird sensation. You're not sick. You're not nauseous, but you just feel like this uncomfortable feeling where you have no appetite. You don't want to eat anything. You feel heavy. It's a very weird sensation. I mean, red meat is terrible for you. It tastes delicious though, so I'm never gonna stop eating it. But it technically is very bad for you because it takes so long to digest, and it just sits in your stomach, man. But it's delicious. I can never stop eating it. JD says, I believe in Eric, still not comfortable with Araujo. I think it's going to be Eric and Gerard Maldini tomorrow. That's my guess. But of course, with Flick, you never know. Watch, it's going to be like, I don't know, Diego Cochen and Ter Stegen as our two center backs. I don't know. Yeah, it's like you never know with Flick. El Pollito says, Los Pollitos dicen, Pio, Pio, Pio. Mo, if Barca wins tomorrow, we should celebrate by eating a steak and a Estrella beer. Ooh, I love Estrella Damm. If you guys don't know, Estrella Damm is a Spanish beer. It's actually one of the sponsors of Barca, if I'm not mistaken. Not a main sponsor, like they don't appear on the kit or anything. But if I'm not mistaken, they do appear like on the facilities. I think so. Or maybe they were, but I know there was a link there. But anyways, delicious beer. And yes, I would love to celebrate with a steak. I don't need an excuse to celebrate with a steak. Jerome says that's Oxlade. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. He looked like an incredibly cute puppy, and I'm sure you gave him an incredible life. But I'm sorry he passed away. That's always, of course, sad to lose your best friend. And Abdel Majid says, same question. This one. El Pollito, has UEFA suspended the referee from the first leg? They said they were going to, or they were considering it. I don't know if they have yet, because they have to open an investigation and look into it. And that might take a week or two. And, it hasn't even been a week since the match. Messi Super Ballon d'Or says, I read somewhere, that Atletico Madrid intentionally sucks the pitch because they always train in those conditions. Is that true? Apparently, Hansi Flick did the same during training preparations. No, pitches, that sounds like I'm saying another word, but no. Pitches with a P. Grass. Fields. Playing fields are always they're always irrigated right before the match. And the reason for that, because the ball moves a lot faster on wet grass. Not only do they do it right before the match, they do it in the halftime. If you ever go to a match, you'll see as soon as the players run into the tunnel, the sprinklers come on. So they always wet the pitch because it makes the ball roll faster. I don't know about doing it intentionally to soak it, because I just don't see how a team could look to destroy their own pitch because they're playing on it. So if you're making it difficult to play on, whether by overwatering or not taking care of it, you still have to play on it. Like, yeah, the opposing team is going to be uncomfortable, but you're also going to be uncomfortable because you're playing on the same pitch. And if there's holes, sure, when the opposing team makes a pass, the ball might get deflected. But when you pass the ball's also got to get deflected because you're playing on the same pitch. So I don't believe in these conspiracy theories that somehow Atletico is destroying their own pitch because they're playing on it. That maybe it would make sense maybe if they destroyed one half of the pitch, which is where the opposing team plays, and they keep their side like beautiful or the opposite way. But even that wouldn't work, right? Because the teams switch sides at the halftime. So it just doesn't add up. The math ain't mathing. Al Zaid says when we're talking about Leao, I've always liked him, but recently been very poor for Milan. Don't worry, my friends. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. Speaking of, no, not yet. We got to talk about Lamine Yamal. Cada día te quiero más. Lamine Yamal. Cada día te quiero más. We got to talk about Lamine Yamal because, ladies and gentlemen, not only was the best coach on earth, Hansi-Dieter Flick, answering questions at the pre-match press conference, but Lamine Yamal for the first time ever, or at least if memory serves me right, I don't remember Lamine doing a pre-match press conference in the Champions League before. Maybe he did, and I'm misremembering, but as far as I remember, no. But Lamine Yamal, according to me, for the first time in the Champions League, has participated in a pre-match press conference, and of course, he was asked a very important question: is a comeback possible? And this is what the best player in the world had to say. I think we're a young team. We're all Barca fans, very much so. And we've shown that many times. We have to do what we've done all season. Fight for this badge. We're really eager to be in the semifinals, and we'll give it our all. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between buying your players like Real Penalties does and having players from the academy. Buying players versus growing your players. Because when you buy players like Birmingham, like Mbappe, like Vinicius Jr., they don't care about the badge. They don't care about the colors. They care about that check. They care about their own stats. But when you have players from the academy who have literally grown up at the club, because remember, there's living quarters at La Masia. Players actually sleep there. They go to school there. They eat there. And they train there. They do their homework there. They do everything. That's literally their home. It's not a figurative speech when they say this is our home. They literally live there until they're 18. That's the difference. Is that they will do everything for the badge because it's literally their home. Now, as far as what kind of match Lamine and the team expect for tomorrow, Lamine said, playing the way we know how, with intensity, without losing our game, is the key. Not thinking that coming back is a miracle. It's a game we started 2-0 down, but we have to play the way we know how. Exactly right, Mr. Lamine Yamal. Exactly right. You can't think about, oh, it's a comeback. Oh, we're down 2-0. Oh, it's going to be difficult. Oh, this, oh, that. You just got to do what you know how to do. Play. Maintain possession of the ball. Create chances. Score those chances. And press when you lose the ball. If you do your job, that's it. The goals will come. The win will come. The comeback will come. Very, very important. Now, Lamine Yamal was asked about, does he feel the responsibility, that he's, has to be the leader tomorrow and be responsible and carry the team on his back. And this is what Lamine had to say. Luckily, I'm playing for Barca, and there are players of the highest quality, world-class veterans who prove it every year. I don't think it's down to me alone. Even if it were, I wouldn't mind. We have plenty of players who can turn things around on their own, and that's why I have faith in this team. My God, man. Lamine Yamal not only makes me love him more and more every time he touches the ball, but even when he speaks, man. He's 18 years old. And the reporter's asking him, are you going to be the guy tomorrow? The big guy, like carries the team, scores the goals, the star. He could have said, yes, at 18 years old, we're all stupid. We all think we're the shit even when we're not. And this guy's like, no, I don't have to. I'm surrounded with great players, amazing players. Each one of them can do it on their own. And even if I have to do it on my own, I don't mind. Not only is he willing to step up, but he's not even willing to brag or say, hey, I am the best because he is the best. Instead, he's like, no, everyone else is great and they could do it too. Now, finally, Lamine Yamal, cada día te quiero más, was asked about why he has LeBron on his Instagram page. If you haven't seen it, Lamine Yamal changed his profile picture to LeBron. And of course, that's been that meme circling around. Remember when this was, I can't remember what year, it was the NBA Finals. For those of you who don't watch basketball, I sure don't because it's boring as fuck. The finals, because of course, NBA being the greedy organization that it is, FIFA apparently taking notes. They don't do one final. They do best out of 7, right? Because why make money off one match when you can make money off potentially 7 matches, right? Because best out of 7, sure, one of the teams could win 4 matches in a row and it's over, but still, that's 4 matches, 4 finals rather than 1. That's 4 times the money. Obviously, if it goes all the way to 7 matches, well, you're talking about 7 times the more money than just 1 final. But anyways, LeBron was playing with, who was he playing with at the time? Was he with Ohio? What's it called? Cleveland, the Cavaliers? Anyways, he was down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors. Golden State had won 3 matches. He had won only 1. I think he was with the Cavaliers, right? I don't fucking know. This guy bounces around so much. Anyways, and they said, it was no team in the history of the NBA had ever come back from a 3-1 deficit. And that's exactly what he did. He won the next 3 matches and it ended up being 4-3. And LeBron became champion. So Lamine Yamal, so that meme has been circling around, no, in the history of the Champions League, no team has been, Barcelona has never come back against Atletico Madrid or never eliminated Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. And, it's, they put the sunglasses of LeBron on Lamine with the headphones because that was a picture of LeBron going into that match, which I guess would have been game 5. But anyway, so he put LeBron James on his profile picture, and this is what he said about why he did it. Where did it go? There we go. LeBron is one of the role models who can inspire me for tomorrow's match, and that's why I'll put it up. I'll think about how he did it, and hopefully I'll do the same. We have many players in the team. I consider myself just one of them, and I'm not the only one. Now, as far as how he's feeling about tomorrow's match, he said, I'm feeling great. Really looking forward to tomorrow's match. I'm motivated for it, and I hope I can make a difference. And then jokingly, talking about El Cholo Simeone, Madrid's coach, he said, let's see if El Cholo does me a favor and sets me up on one-on-one with an opponent. I hope he does. Of course, making a joke because last time he always had 3 or 4 guys always on him. So he's like, I hope Cholo does me a favor and just puts 1 guy on me. Of course, he's not going to do that because can you imagine? Lamine was unstoppable with 4 guys on him. Can you imagine just 1 guy? I mean, he would probably score a hat trick. But anyways, those were the statements of Lamine Yamal. And while we're on the topic of Lamine Yamal, we do have to talk about a new record for the Barcelona starlet because, as you know, he provided 2 assists, and a goal against Espanyol. Perico, ven dime que se siente. And the record is that that match against Espanyol 2 days ago, that's crazy. 2 days ago and tomorrow, we already have a Champions League match. But anyways, thanks a lot, FIFA and UEFA, for your calendar. But that match was the 100th match of Lamine Yamal in La Liga. And he has now officially broken the record and set his own record for the youngest player to ever hit that milestone, which is 100 matches in La Liga at 18 years old, 227 days. Now, who held the record before Lamine? It was the Real Penalista or Madridista Raúl González, who reached 100 matches at the age of 19, 284 days. So Lamine Yamal has broken Raúl González's record by an entire year. In third place is Iker Muniain with 19 years, 293 days. Crazy. Now, in these 100 matches, Lamine Yamal has scored 29 goals and provided 29 assists. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's get back to the comment section, and then we are going to talk about Rafael Leao, because I know someone asked me, but it's not time yet. Nuts. Why you nuts, man? Says Hansi didn't say moments, he said momentum. Holy moly. Al Said says, would you like to see Leao at Barca? Ooh, that's a tough question. I'll get back to it because, of course, I got to talk about Leao in a little bit. I'll answer that question. Trust me, I'm not ignoring it. El Pollito, Los Pollitos D said, ordered some DoorDash and watching Mo's masterpiece. Let's go. What'd you order? Let me know. I'm curious. I ordered DoorDash today. Some stuff from the supermarket. I'm done ordering DoorDash supermarket. Every time I order a bunch of stuff, almost nothing makes it here because they're always out of stock. And it's like, yo, why you advertise that you sell something if you're out of stock? And then the dasher calls you and is like, hey, what do you want a replacement? They have this, they have that. And you're like, no, I don't want any of that. That's not what I wanted. And then they cancel it. And you still end up paying the same fee for the 5 things that you ordered, even though you only got one. And it's like you still have to tip the same amount because obviously it's not a dasher's fault that the supermarket is advertising things that they don't have. I can go on a rant about DoorDash for hours. I don't want to bore you guys. But let's see. Abdel Majid says, yo, Mo. Hi from Morocco. Al Maghrib. Let's go. It's 1:30 a.m., but here we are. Well, thank you, my friend, for joining this late. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. And Carlos says, my mood for the next 5 months will depend on tomorrow. Do you see Olmo, Fermin, Pedri, and Frankie starting? Or is Gabi starting over them? I definitely see Fermin, Pedri, and Frankie starting. And Pedri and Frankie in a double pivot. And then Fermin Lopez. I see almost starting if Flick decides that he doesn't trust Rashford as a starter. And then he ends up putting Fermin as a left winger and Olmo in the attacking mid with Pedri and Frankie as a double pivot. That's when I see Olmo starting. But given that Rashford was rested against Atletico Madrid and only came on during the second half, my guess is that Rashford will be the starter tomorrow in the left wing. But again, that's a guess. You never know with Flick. And we do have another donation. Let's fucking go. Sanjok, thank you so much, my friend, for your donation. It's incredibly generous of you. But Sanjok says, I am worried about the fitness of our players. I don't understand why Flick doesn't rest Lamine or Pedri. It'll be a super high intensity match. I think the necessity of the match against Espanyol is why Flick didn't rest them. I think the plan was get the win early and then sub them out. But then Espanyol came with their goal, and all of a sudden it was 2-1, and now you don't have the match in the bag. So I think that's why he ended up keeping them. It's unfortunate, but welcome to modern day football. But thank you, my friend, for your donation. Thank you so much. And Sid says an opportunity to sign. Of course, Barca should take it. They're able. He would give us an outlet on the left wing like Vini gives for Madrid. I'm guessing you're talking about Leao. Talk about that in a little bit. And Barca for last says, Mo, 2 tomahawks. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll never do that again. Felt like I was going to die, man. But yeah, that was just incredibly stupid of me. Miss Michael says, if we are serious about winning the Champions League, we got to sign Osimhen. No center backs. We don't have money. Could roll over whatever is left for a left winger or great fullbacks to compete with ours. We definitely need a world-class striker. That's for sure. We see it every match, right? Lamine creating so many chances, the team creating so many chances, and no one there to push it. And then Ferran finally pushes it after 3 months, and he goes like this. And it's like, yeah, fuck you, bro. Where were you the last 3 months? But anyways. I gotta say, though, I don't know if Osimhen is the answer. Not because he lacks quality. Obviously, he doesn't. But his run-ins with Napoli. Now he's had some run-ins in Turkey too. They're saying there's been some problems between him and the where is he at? Galatasaray. Yeah, Galatasaray, right? Yeah, he's having problems with some upper management, Galatasaray and coach. That worries me. That worries me a little bit. But he does have obviously quality. I mean, you can't deny that. He has plenty of quality. Lifestyle Hack says, "Hey Mo, I trust that Flick has learned his lesson from the 0-4 defeat and knows what to do. I hope so, my friend. I hope so." And Prashu Mintu says, "It's 6 in the morning in India. Ooh, that is early. And I am honored to be here. You are doing great work. Love from India. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for being up this early watching the channel. I know me at 6 a.m., I'm an absolute zombie. So kudos to you for even being able to pay attention because I sure couldn't." One more comment and then we'll talk about Rafael Leao because Al Zaid says, "Do you think to what happened to Alfonso Davies, Kimmich, and many other Bayern players have been dealing with injuries their whole time since Flick was the manager, since the way they play will happen to us?" No, I think injuries are unavoidable. It's part of the sport, so you have to be able to plan for it. As far as people saying that our style of play this or style of play that causes injuries, I think it's nonsense. Because does our style of play require high intensity? Of course, but guess what? All other styles do too. There is no style that does not require high intensity. That just doesn't exist in professional sports, whether it be football, basketball, American football, hockey, whatever. Any professional sport, top level professional sport, is gonna require 180% intensity and effort. This is why these people are professionals because they can withstand that level of intensity. If you and I tried that, we would be in the hospital injured forever, right? This is why these people are professional athletes. This is why these people make millions because they could withstand that. Does that mean they're not going to get injured? Of course not. But there's no such thing as a style that doesn't require intensity. In fact, if you look at the stats, systems like that of El Cholo, the ones that like to park the bus, they actually run a lot more than our style because parking the bus actually requires a lot of running because you have to constantly run back and forth, closing down spaces, chasing the ball and chasing the opposing team. So there's no such thing as a system that doesn't require high intensity. All systems do. Our system is no different. So there's no such thing as this system or that system is more prone injuries. If there was, everybody would pick that system that doesn't cause injuries, right? Because who wants to deal with injuries? Nobody. But there's no such thing. This is professional sport, top level professional sport. Of course, it's gonna require a lot of intensity. That goes for any freaking sport. This is why these people are professionals. This is why these people make millions. Anyways, let's do the last bit of news. The last bit of news. Because we do have to talk about Rafael Leao. We have to talk about. All right, let's talk about Rafael Leao, the last bit of news, and then we'll do a couple more comments and we'll end there. I know we're coming up on the hour. Plus, I got to go grocery shopping and I got to shower and then I got to go to sleep because tomorrow I got to work. But let's talk about Rafael Leao because as I told you in a previous video, I said, could Rafael Leao be linked to Barcelona? And why did I say that? Because it looks like AC Milan have had enough. They said, you know what? We don't like Portuguese people. You out of here. Just kidding. That's not why they want him out. They just think that, well, Leao hasn't really lived up to the hype or to the expectations. And AC Milan and the player have decided, all right, you know what? We're going to part ways this summer transfer market. And of course, I pose the question, is Leao could he come to Barcelona? Not because Barcelona were actively pursuing him, but because Barcelona had actively pursued him in the past. Not only that, but Joan Laporta is a big fan. And they say Leao was his favorite player, and it reminds him of the good old times of Ronaldinho. So since Laporta really, really likes Leao, since Barcelona had tried to sign Leao in the past, of course, I pose that question. Do you think maybe Barcelona could try to go after Leao now that AC Milan will actually place him on the market come this summer transfer market? Well, now we have a new update because AC Milan, knowing that Barcelona, Laporta's a huge fan, knowing, of course, that Barcelona were interested in signing him in the past, have now actually offered Barcelona the chance to sign Rafael Leao. Now, they haven't set a price, but a lot of sources in Italy close to Inter Milan, AC Milan, not Inter Milan, God forbid, please. If any AC Milan fans out there, don't kill me. Are saying that AC Milan would be willing to let Rafael Leao go for around 50 million euros. Now, at this moment, as of today, I'm not saying in the summer, as of today, April 13th, 2026, Barcelona are not considering the signing of Leao. Why? Because they're not impressed with his season numbers. Because this season he's been off. Plus, he's been injured a lot. So, my question to you is, now that you know that AC Milan are willing to sell Leao, now that you know that AC Milan even offered Leao to Barca, and now that you know that AC Milan could supposedly let him go for 50 mil, would you sign him? Let me know in the chat section or in the comment section. For me, it's a little bit difficult. It's a mixed bags of feelings when it comes to Leao, because on one hand, I think he has the raw talent to become the best winger in the world. I mean, his speed, his physicality, his dribbling, his shot, his passing. I mean, he has it all. He has the full packet. But on the other hand, he has sucked these last few seasons at AC Milan. I got to admit that. But on the other hand, back to the other hand, you know who else has sucked? AC Milan. So it makes you wonder, is Leao been terrible because AC Milan has been terrible? Because they have? Or has he just been terrible because he's overhyped and maybe he's not as good as we all thought? Another question worth pondering. Another question I want to hear you guys' opinion on or answer to. So let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this once it ends. And that's it for the news. Let's do a couple more comments or 3 more comments, and then we'll wrap this up. Man, today the podcast went by really quick. I feel like it was a good one, or maybe I'm biased. After all, it's me blabbering here for an hour. So, but I don't know. I really enjoyed today's podcast. So let me know what you guys thought of it. And of course, let me know what you thought about everything else. Charles says, I still think Juve striker is worth a try. Are you talking about Vlahovic? Because he has been ruled out by Barcelona. Let me see. Nuts says, I don't understand why I want to see Rooney so bad. He's still 19 and played in Denmark a year ago. Kouarsi, Lamine, and Bernal are the exception and not the rule. Exactly. I think people are rushing Bardagzi. People forget that when you're that young and when you come from a much lower level league, with all due respect to the Danish league, it takes a long time to adapt. And because he's not only adapting to Spanish football, which obviously the league is miles and miles ahead of the Danish one, but he's also adapting to the Barca style of play, which is very difficult things to adapt to. So I'm not surprised that Bardagzi is not getting minutes this season. I mean, like I said, it's his first season. He's young. He's still learning. He's still adapting, coming from a much inferior league. And he has Lamine playing in the same position. I mean, if Messi was on the squad, would you be asking, why is Bardagzi not playing? No. Now, I'm not saying Lamine is Messi. Of course not. But, he is one of the best players in the world right now. But it is. And Sancho, don't fucking go. Thank you so much, my friend, for your second donation. And Sanjok says, do you remember when Ferran played as a right wing? He was actually good. And you could see even this season he has scored a lot of goals from the right side. I remember it the other way. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm just being crazy because, memories in football are short, including mine. But I remember being the opposite. I feel like once Flick started using him as a 9, is that Ferran started scoring. Versus when he used to play on the wing, he was kind of like... Because Ferran cannot dribble. I mean, the guy can't even control the ball, let alone dribble or drive the ball. And when you're a winger, you kind of need at least one of those. Obviously, it's better if you could do all of them. but at least one of those. So I don't know. I remember the opposite way. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Let me know. Am I misremembering? Am I crazy? Do I feel like Ferran started doing better as a 9 than as a winger? And Jojo, what's up, Jojo? Says hello, Mo. Been a minute. Yes, sir. It has. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. It's always good to see you. And David says, I'm Barca, bro, but not winning tomorrow. We should have never got beaten at Camp Nou. Don't fool yourselves. You can't afford to slip in these days. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta believe, brother. You gotta believe. Mercurio lucky. Blah, blah, blah. Says Leao. I take him if he presses just as good or near Rafinha's level. If he takes on defenders on at an elite level and plays for the badge. If not, no. I mean, fuck. I don't think we can get anyone to press like Rafinha. But no, I get your point. If he actually helps to press, because we know he can take on defenders. That's for sure. But if he can also press, that'd be amazing. But yeah. Let's see. Bad Boy says, maybe you're being biased. I mean, it's not baby. We all biased, my friends. There's no such thing as an unbiased person. And if anyone, YouTuber, reporter, whatever, tries to sell you the story that they are unbiased, they're full of shit, because we are all biased. Our biases they come from our experiences, from how we were raised, from our education, from the people we surround ourselves. We are biased, my friend. Do not fool yourselves that there's a such thing as an unbiased person, because if anyone tries to sell you that story, tell them, my friend, you are full of shit. And guess what? I'm not full of shit. So yes, I am biased. Of course I'm biased. We all are. So I'm not going to deny it. Anyways, DL1001 says Rooney also tore his ACL, same injury as Gabi and Bernal. Yeah, he did. He was out for, I think it was a year back when he was. That's why, actually, how we were able to sign him to begin with. Because Rooney, he goes on and scores, was it against Man U in the Champions League? And all of a sudden, he's like, boom, hot thing. Everybody wanted him. And then, ACL happens. He's out. Nobody wants him anymore. And this is how we were able to sign him for, how much did we pay for him? 5 mil, 7 mil, something like that. Because he tore his ACL. And, teams usually don't want to take a risk on someone who tore his ACL because they don't know how he's been. But obviously, we've seen that he has recovered. All right, last comment. But Jahi's Lord says, hey, Mo, why is it so hard for Rashford to score them easy goals when he has to shoot up, he shoots down, and vice versa? I don't know, my friend. I don't fucking know. But anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. That is all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your comments. And of course, if you're watching this when it ends, don't forget to leave a comment. And also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. That is it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Big match tomorrow. Let's hope tomorrow we can be celebrating in the post-match live analysis. So, Visca Barca, now and forever.